It's going to be so good. And, that's going to leave a mark. And if you're not recording, Bobby, in Zoom, if you could start our recording so that Facebook and our family can hear this bio, because we want them to know who our speaker is. And if you are joining us for the first time or for the first time in a long time, we welcome you, we thank you, we bless you, we are happy that you're here co-creating with us. We also want to give respect and honor to our very own Reverend Robert, who is out of town today and next week. We love him. We are so thankful for him. He's just been a blessing to the Monterey Center for Spiritual Living, and we look forward to him coming back. But for today, let me introduce you to Reverend Brother Luchan Baker. Luchan Baker III, fondly known as Brother Luchan, is a proud Oakland, California native, such as myself. Brother Luchan grew up in the science of mind philosophy, hailing from a long line of ministers and practitioners within the science of mind tradition. His grandmother is the Honorable Reverend Dr. Eloise Oliver, Minister Emerita from the East Bay Church of Religious Science in Oakland, California. And his uncle, Reverend Muata Rasuli, is the Senior Minister and Spiritual Director of the San Francisco Centers for Spiritual Living. In 2004, at only 23 years old, Brother Luchan became the youngest practitioner to obtain their license, which is such an honor. Luchan served as the coordinator for youth and family at the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living, and he recently graduated from the Centers for Spiritual Living School of Spiritual Leadership, completing the academic requirements to become a licensed minister of the Centers for Spiritual Living. Yeah, we should pause. Let's pause and give a hand for that. We affirm for Luchan that the additional requirements for licensing are completed with ease, grace, and excellence. Let us welcome Brother Luchan to the Monterey Center for Spiritual Living. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The music is on point. I'm overwhelmed. And thank you, Reverend Tony, for that blessing earlier. I'm laughing because I've been wanting to change that bio for so long. Number one reason is like when we wrote this bio, you can tell it was probably written by my mother. And she loves to dote on me. And you could tell those are her words. And now that I'm a lot older, now that I've been on this path for a while, I'm listening. I'm like, who does this guy think he is? And it's very ironic that we're talking about fatherhood and the divine masculine, because I think that most American men have this thing where we pretend like we don't want all those props and all that love and accolades, and especially when we have a ceremony where we're being honored and people are clapping for us and for the work we did, and we're supposed to just be like, just doing my job. I'm nobody special. I'm just doing my job. But in your heart, you love that recognition. You do. But we have to pretend like we don't and be cool, and it's so funny. And here in this space, just all the love I've been given within just the first 2 minutes. I'm just like, look, stop being cool and let these people love you, man. Just let them do it. You know you like it. So thank you. Thank you. Please bear with me today. This day is always very emotional for me. We're talking about Father's Day. Props to all the dads out there, whether you have biological children of your own or not. I believe in the village. I was raised by a village. So though my biological father is very much of who I am, I recognize that I've had many fathers and many mothers growing up. But my father is my hero. And when I say hero, I'm not just talking about the father-son connection. I mean, I think at least once every boy growing up in this country thinks about being a firefighter at least once. My father became one, then became the fire captain, and something I used to love is every year he would drive the engine or truck himself to my sister and I's school to talk to us about fire safety. And that's just my dad, all full of muscles and proud, and hops off that rig, and all the kids who were always mean to me that year, they're nice to me this day, because look at my dad in the truck, and I used to just be so proud, like, that's my dad right there, you know? He's my hero. And yet, I couldn't wait to one day show him how not only I could be the dad he is, but I was aiming to be a better dad than him. I was I'm gonna take this even farther than you did, Dad, because we're competitive in this family, and that's what we do. Now, more on that later. I thought I silenced that, my bad. But something else that really gets my attention is, well, what do we call a father in this country especially? What makes a man? What makes a dad? And the first two things that came to me was provider and protector. And I'm trying to search for more than that. I'm looking for more, and I'm realizing that honestly, if we look at the surface of how we feel in this country, the consciousness around being a father, around being a man, comes down to providing and protecting. And anything outside of that, you're not a dad, you're not a man. Now that's very uncomfortable. And another thing I'm getting used to is talking about things that we are not comfortable with. Because when we're comfortable, that's not growth. So this subject is not comfortable for me either, but it is the truth. And so there's been times on my own fatherhood journey where I may feel like I am not providing the way a man should be. But I've had to go back and look at all those heroes I have. Not only do I have a father, I have two amazing uncles. I had an amazing stepfather, and all those men in the churches I grew up who stepped in as father figures. And something all of those men have allowed me to see are the times when they did not feel as strong, are the times when the money may not have been there, the times where they felt vulnerable, and they allowed me to see it. As strong and as powerful my dad is, I have seen him cry. He has not hid it from me. I'll tread very carefully with this one. Because we also live in a time where this thing called gender, we're realizing, is a lot more fluid than the concrete examples at least I was given. We're starting to really be more comfortable with the idea that maybe the divine masculine and divine feminine exist in all of us because God is exactly both. And once we come to that realization, we all get to check our ideas of what a man or a woman or whatever these titles are. Maybe we're just human. Yet and still, physically there are differences, and that causes some to be better at certain things than others. Now, every year for Mother's Day, the pastor would always say, and all the moms who felt like they had to be dads, you stand up too. And I would always get irritated, like, wow. So Mother's Day and Father's Day, they get to be recognized? As much as my dad is a hero and a provider to me, I have to also give him props. When it was time for him to be a mother and step in and take care of us when we were sick, he did that, and he did it well. How come he doesn't get to stand up for Mother's Day? A lot of men carry that anger and resentment because we don't feel seen. We feel like we've been whittled down to either you're providing or protecting, and if you're not doing that, we don't want to recognize you. Now, I'm not talking about all of you, But we do have to recognize that there is a consciousness around manhood that has whittled it down to either you are providing or protecting. So when it comes to being a spiritual man, the one thing I think we all have in common, the one thing that is the challenge, is surrender. Because a man is not supposed to surrender to anything. We're supposed to fight and be steadfast, but when it comes to the allness of the universe, the allness of God, you have no match for that, homie. You get to surrender, or else you're not letting it in. So excuse my gender bias, but I see the divine feminine doing this so gracefully. I watch it. My mother can just manifest miracles like it's nothing because she doesn't have the stigma around surrender that I do. When it's time for me to surrender, I'm not surrendering to anything. I'll do it myself. And yes, you can do it yourself. You can. In the hip hop community, we have this word called tight. Like, oh, that's tight right there. You know, it means cool or nifty or, you know, whatever they said then, right? And so you can do it yourself because you are of God. And when you do it, it will be tight. But when you allow spirit to take over you, when you allow that, when you just surrender to it, honestly, it's nothing like when it is God cool, God tight, God whatever. It's always going to be that much more awesome when we surrender to that power. I didn't get the fatherhood experience I thought I was going to get. So when I watch movies, especially that beginning scene of that movie Bad Boys with Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, where Martin Lawrence's character has all these kids, and his kids wake him up in the morning, wake up, daddy, and they're jumping all on the bed, and wake up, daddy. And I would watch that and be like, man, that looks so amazing, and I just knew that was going to be me. And part of my relationship with my father is wanting to prove to him I could be a better dad and a better husband because my parents divorced, and that has always bothered me. And I judged both of my parents at different times. You know, once I lived with this parent, oh, it's your fault. And live with this parent, and I'll show you I can do way better than you did. And then finally, I had my own fatherhood experience. Nothing has made me appreciate my father more than having my own experience. I'm surprised that man allowed me to live as long as I did, actually. Like the kind of teenager I was, how would you not? Props to you, Dad. Something my uncle talks about every year is how we prepare our young ladies for motherhood. Very early on, you get this doll. And you care for that doll like it is your child. You're making sure there's no crust in the baby's eyes and always combing its hair and putting on nice clothes. Something is telling you, listen, get ready, young lady. This will be your reality one day. And I think that's a beautiful thing. Nothing prepares us for fatherhood. I didn't get dolls. I got action figures, which is totally different. No hair to comb. No bottles to give, just come on, Joe, here's a bunch of weapons and express your masculinity that way. There you go. So when I was this short and skinny kid growing up in Oakland, California, and we know that if you are a man, a young boy in Oakland, you can't be short and skinny. You get to pick a struggle. You can't be both. I'm also laughing because in Reverend E's family, we weren't allowed to play this game called The Dozens. And The Dozens is pretty much you and your friends just comedically making fun of each other. It's a really low vibrational experience. And I've realized that the object of this game is to just really rank on each other. And we're supposed to sit there like what we're saying to each other doesn't hurt our feelings. Well, we know it does. And I wasn't good at that game because I did not growing up playing that game with my siblings and my cousins. I did not play that game. We would get in trouble for saying those things to each other. So when it's time to go to the playground and we're all starting to play The Dozens, I'm getting my feelings hurt and running home crying. which then shows them, oh, this kid is weak, so now I'm a target for being bullied. And finally, this is in the 80s, so teachers weren't on this anti-bullying thing. Teachers used to always tell me, look, kid, you have to make them stop bullying you. And you know what that meant. That's what teachers told me. So finally, this young boy who's afraid, who's feeling vulnerable, who just wants to be loved, expresses that aggression. I learned how to defend myself. I learned how to put fear in anyone who may be looking for a victim that day. I learned how to do it, and I learned how to do it well. And suddenly, I was seen. Suddenly, people recognized me. Suddenly, it was, oh, I know you. I heard about you. I was praised for being violent. I'm not telling you the story for sympathy. I'm telling you the story so maybe we can understand that I am not special with this story. This has been the story of many young boys growing up here in America. You're not seen unless you are expressing some kind of aggression. So when I finally see a grown man have a tantrum, finally snap and finally do something dramatic that affects us all, while everyone wants to villainize him, I look at him and I say, I understand. I know what it's like to scream out and say, I want to be seen, I want to be loved, I need a hug, and people tell me, oh, stop crying and be a man. Okay. What is a man? I mean, what is a man really? Is it the same beautiful divine expression that we give when it comes to being the divine feminine? Or is it really just you're either providing or protecting? What is a man? And should a man find himself in a vulnerable state where providing and protecting isn't what he's expressing in that moment, what do we do with him at that point? Can he be just as loving as mom is? Just as nurturing? My father was, is, and still will be. But how come we're not celebrated for that? Now let me back up. We have this new term called toxic masculinity. I'll be honest. Toxic masculinity is a thing. It is a thing and it exists. You know, like when you get around your friends and you cry because you're all watching Good Will Hunting. And it's that one part where Ben Affleck gives us that beautiful smile of his at the end because he knows his friend isn't there messing up and he finally gets to go to Stanford and it's a beautiful moment. Nobody who's human can hold back tears in that moment. You know you cried. I'm not the only one. You cried too. And as soon as I did, all my friends, look at Lou over there crying. Oh, the little baby. That's toxic. That's toxic masculinity. It's fun to do, I admit, but it is toxic. How come I can't call my friend and say, hey man, I'm scared. Hey man, I'm sad. Hey, I just need somebody to talk to. He will be like, homie, what is your problem? Toxic masculinity is very much a thing, but please understand that does not mean that masculinity itself is toxic. I'm a very sensitive dude. I will cry in front of anybody. And let me tell you something else. When I went to Skyline and it was time to meet all those pretty little Skyline girls, I had a great idea. I'm going to take ballet. So I'll meet all of them before all the jocks do. Never mind the fact I ended up really liking it. And I was like, wow, ballet's kind of awesome. That was my idea. And yet I will sit here and tell you that I can tussle with the best of them. I like being a Neanderthal. I like breaking things on accident and, telling inappropriate jokes around my sister. I love doing those things. But there's still a human being in here who feels things, who gets to feel vulnerability and all those beautiful things. I am that as well. So before we call me toxic, let's try to get to know the person inside. A lot of times that toxic masculinity really means I need a hug. And since I can't get one because you'll make fun of me, here's how I'm going to express it. At East Bay Church, the men's ministry has been going up to the juvenile hall on 150th for a while. And I was invited one day. And these are supposed to be the boys that everyone's afraid of, the boys that we've all turned our backs on, and all the, the ones we don't want our children playing with. And immediately I'm looking at them and I'm seeing me. No matter what color, white, Latino, black, Asian, it did not matter. I am seeing me in all of them. That hurt, that anger, that all I wanted was a hug. I was seeing it. But the one in particular was this young man who was the most disagreeable. Everyone else is sitting down and in the group. And he's like, no, it's okay, I'll sit over here. Just anything. It could be like, hey, we all have cookies, want one? And he knows he wants one, but because you offered him one, no, I don't want a cookie, I hate cookies. I was him. I know what that was like. To be angry like that, to be like, no, I'm not saying yes to anything. I'm showing you that I can disagree because that's how I keep my power. And yet we were all wondering what to do with this kid because we wanted him to participate, not because our egos were caught up, but because we knew we had something valuable to give him. Instead of telling him how difficult he was being, I decided to pour love on this kid. Decided to really see him, decided to find something in him where I knew he was expressing the allness of God through him, because we all have an outlet where we do that. And the moment I knew he rapped, bingo, oh, you rap, do you? Guess what? You just gave me an in, homie, because I rap too. And we began talking back and forth. And, oh, well, who's your favorite? Oh, that's it. Well, you should listen to this. And, oh, really? We had a rapport going. And guess what? Before I could even really get into the conversation, he gradually started making his way to the group. This isn't about being a man. This isn't about this is about gender. Everyone in here has been hurt before. Everyone in here has experienced that vulnerability, that time where you wanted to be seen and you weren't being seen. So when you see a young child expressing that, you know where to go to meet them. More than anything, this world needs love and understanding, even for the ones causing the hurt. I'm talking about more than anything, we need that right now. Love is the most disarming, most gangsterous force there is on the planet. Nothing disarms you like love. Now, my father had this very stern way of raising me. And at times, it could be overbearing. But that was the example he gave me. And so there's a moment in my oldest son's life where his mother and I just split. She wasn't being very nice to me in court. I learned in that moment that it's very hard for fathers to really feel like they have rights in family court. And I was angry. And anytime I tried to talk to people about the anger and frustration I was having, I was told to stop crying and be a man. So I had nowhere to go. And I'm helping my son with his homework. And the entire experience was so miserable for him because I'm expressing that hurt to him indirectly. And so when he's not getting the answer fast enough, I'm huffing and puffing and I'm being impatient and I'm starting to raise my voice at my son. The very thing I said I would not do to my children. And finally my son, my beautiful son, starts crying. And this even broke my heart more because this wasn't the type of cry that you can hear. He was actually trying to hide his cry from me. And the tears were just rolling down his face and he couldn't fight them. And finally I said, why are you crying, son? And it wasn't why are you crying like I really cared about how he was crying. I was irritated that my son was crying. And with all the brave genes in his body, I don't even know if he got this from me, all the courage, all the he just looked me dead in the face and said, because I keep getting yelled at. Excuse me. And in that moment, I realized that I became the father I said I would not be. What is a villain anyway? All a villain is somebody who carries that same hurt they got from that moment all the way into the present to where it's festered and turned into their own identity. The same disappointment I had in my father's relationship with myself is what I carried into my own fatherhood. And in that moment, I was the villain to my son. I want to thank my son today for how he transformed me in that moment. I cried with him and I said, I promise you, son, from this day forward, no matter how disappointed I may be, no matter how much I'm trying to do my job as a father, I will never yell at you again, and I've kept that promise. Nothing prepares us for fatherhood. You're just having fun, and one day you're a father. But let me tell you something else. We're even less prepared to be husbands. And I've had the experience of being both. Now, they did that one study that we've seen where they'll have a couple. And first they'll do the couple where they're having an argument and the man gets a little rough with the woman. And it doesn't take 2 sneezes before everyone is like, hey, hold on. And the whole community straightens that man out for being rough with his girlfriend. Then they flipped it. Same argument, same area, but now she's roughing him up. And not only does no one come to rescue him, people sit there, pull their phones out, and they laugh. So when a man finds himself in that situation, what is he supposed to do? These are just things I want to bring to our attention when we talk about what a man is. Because oftentimes you feel as a man, I am only allowed to either be telling jokes or to show raw aggression. I can't even say that I'm hurt by what you did because you'll laugh at me and tell me I'm not a man. This is an shaming moment. This is a moment for all of us to reflect on the times where we have fanned the flames of that same consciousness. I'm not surprised when I see men flip out and start expressing that aggression to the world. I know what that hurt feels like. So I ask myself, how can I do my part in correcting this? Well, I can start with myself and give myself that love and understanding. Then I can tell my beautiful boys that it's okay to cry, that it's okay to be vulnerable. And that's me doing my part. See, the beautiful thing about this philosophy is we don't need to go out anywhere and say anything. We get to start with ourselves. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with who? We can't give the world what we don't give ourselves first. That's why I'm learning why the surrendering that I'm talking about, that has been difficult for me, is not just a hobby that I get to do. It is imperative that I surrender before I even leave the house. There it is right there. Okay. I love this quote right here. The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. That was Dr. King. What I think about when I read that is 2 stories from my father. There's this one story where he got these balloons for my sister, because my sister is very much a daddy's girl. I was always so jealous of their relationship. I have nieces now, so now I get it. I treat my sons totally different from my nieces. I apologize for it. I don't know what it is, but little girls just melt your heart. I don't know what it is. And so my sister has these balloons full of helium, and Dad pulls into the gas station, and, my sister's like, can I come, Dad? And I'm like, really? Like, you're going with Dad to pay the gas? Really? So they get out the car, and my sister leaves the door open. And of course, as soon as she does that, the balloons get out the car and they start to lift. And all she can do is turn and say, Dad! And she's screaming like it is because these are her balloons. Like, this is life or death. I need those balloons to come home with me. And with all just the might of God in his body, my dad just does that amazing run of his. My dad used to run like 3 laps around Lake Merritt. So my dad could run, and he's running, and we're the same height. So just imagine when he jumped and tried to reach for these balloons that were already gone. I mean, everything in the universe was in him to get those balloons, and he missed by that much. That you just did, I don't know what it was, but every pump had a father at that pump in that moment of different colors. And you can tell they were all rooting for my dad. And when he missed, everyone said, oh. And he had to take that long walk back to the car, pump the gas, and explain to my sister how he would get her some more balloons. And all the man who could do, who was watching the whole thing from his booth, all he could do was just give my sister some candy, like, here, little girl, cheer up. And I learned right there how it looks when a man gets to take defeat like that. My father didn't yell at us. He wasn't irritated with us the whole day. He took that like a man, and he kept doing his job. I love him for that example. And here's another story where he bought us all school clothes. And this is in the 80s, where school clothes were still a thing. I laugh at my teenage son now because now he's like, oh no, just wears the same hoodie and, listens to his emo music. And I'm like, all right, really? That's how you dress now? Really? I mean, okay, yes, I did sag. My pants were very low to the ground, but really? You're not going to change your hoodie? Really, son? And so we're going out for school clothes and we're happy and we're, got all these cool, and we bought them already. Just got the clothes in the stroller. And Dad left for a second. And then we realized someone ran off with all our clothes. The clothes my father just bought. And we were all sad because we had some really cool things picked out. And all he could do was bite his lip and buy everything all over again that same day. That's my daddy. We get to leave space for men to express their disappointment, for their regrets. We need to have that space for our men. If we don't want robots running around, and we need that, or else there's no choice but for us to be robots. Also, let's take a look at all the sitcoms I grew up with. We have Al Bundy, we have Homer Simpson, we have all these examples of where the dad is the laughingstock of the family. So now in real life, when a father has a really good idea, it's very hard for him to get his point across because, oh, Dad, ha, 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 ha. No, I just said the house is on fire. We need to leave. Okay, Dad, whatever. Okay. That's how it feels. Yes, toxic masculinity is a thing, but that does not mean that masculinity itself is toxic. Men can be gentle. Men can be nurturing. I have examples of it. But that means that we get to expand our consciousness when it comes to asking, what is a man? Now, what's very awesome about this place right here is that your beloved senior minister is someone I got to watch on his path to being a spiritual man. See, I remember when I was just, oh, that's Mr. Robert Collins. Wasn't even practitioner Robert Collins yet. And I got to watch this man who was very much a man in my eyes take his path to being a spiritual man. I've seen times where he's cried, seen times where he has surrendered to the allness of God, and now he is just this beautiful shaman of a man. So I want to thank him right now in the house that he has invited me to once again, to thank him for the example he has given me when it comes to what it is to be a spiritual man. I want to thank him dearly right now. Thank you, Reverend. Father's Day is a very emotional day for me. Not just because I'm a father, not just because I have a very strong relationship with my own, but simply because I realize that as a man, You don't get to just be a father to your own children. You get to be a father to the community. And we live in a world right now to where everybody has their phones and we really believe that we are individuals when we are not. We are pack animals and part of the allness of the one tribe. So because of this idea of, oh, we're all individuals, a lot of men are afraid to do what they're supposed to do, which when you see kids doing things that is dangerous, you put the father in you and you wear your hat correctly and you tell those kids to cut that out. But we're afraid to do that now. You can get cussed out by their parents for doing that. We live in a time where men are actually afraid to be men. Like, oh my goodness, should I hold the door open for this lady or not? She might call me a chauvinist. But what I love is I get to listen to God, listen to righteousness and say, I do not care if I'm the villain. You children are doing something that is dangerous and I'm telling you to stop. And tell your daddy I said it too. The divine feminine and divine masculine exist in all of us. And it is appropriate to tap into it when it is appropriate. My mother is very much a protector. I've seen her do it. Just like my father is very much a nurturer. So on this day, we honor the divine masculine. We honor the men who provide, protect, and cry, who nurture babies, who do all those beautiful things. We are honoring it because it exists in all of us, not just men. And more importantly, I want to honor this village for welcoming me once again. Thank you to all the fathers who honor the divine masculine in them, regardless of gender. Namaste, Monterey. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Is it okay if I pray? Can I pray? I think I want to pray right now. I'm inspired. And so right now I'm giving thanks. I'm giving thanks in knowing that there's only one life, one mind, one heartbeat, one breath, one everything. And it is known by many names because it is just that abundant. Michael Franti said, God is too big for just one religion. And so I'm celebrating just the abundance of God in all its many expressions right now. I'm blessing this service, the music ministry, the congregants. I'm blessing the city of Monterey. I'm blessing California. I am blessing the world regardless of what the news is showing us. I know that God and the love and the awesomeness of God is what is being expressed regardless of my understanding of it because it is beyond human understanding. We live from the divine, and so right now, in that consciousness of divine, I am celebrating this service, knowing it always needs to be said, knowing that we carry this out and continue to honor the divine masculine, regardless of gender, allowing it to be expressed and accepting it and loving it. I am surrendering to this, knowing that the universe only says yes. And so I'm thanking the universe in advance. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And so I move my ego out of the way, my whys, my concerns, my hows. I am moving that all out of the way, knowing that God has got it. For this and so much more, I give thanks. I release knowing that all prayers are answered. All prayers in the prayer box, all prayers outside the prayer box are answered. This manifests as prosperity, as perfect relationships, as perfect health, and so much more. I allow it to be, and so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Beautiful.
Thank you, thank you. Oh.
I liked it so much, I don't want to let him go. I don't know if you can see that, but we got
I
caught.
knew that was going to happen.
I'm too lazy. Blessings. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Ah, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah. Let's say our weekly affirmation together. It'll be on the screen and we'll say it together twice. Acknowledging the divine masculine in me, I ignite my inner warrior as I continue my chosen path. Let's do that again. Acknowledging the divine masculine in me, I ignite my inner warrior as I continue my chosen path. That's good. And now is the best part of the service. This is the time that we can circulate the gifts that we have been given and circulate that currency. Let's say our affirmation of abundance together, and that will be on the screen. And then it's what we call offering time. I recognize the presence of God within as the source of my abundance. Out of my abundance consciousness flows everything I could desire in life. With gratitude and thanksgiving, I now participate in the flow of uninterrupted abundance. This prosperous experience is evidence of my abundance consciousness. All right, and on our screen, we'll have someone that'll pass a basket, just like we used to do. You can leave, oh well. I was going to ask her to leave that up because I don't know everything by heart. But you can mail in a check to 400 West Franklin Street, or you can give by texting. Thank you so much, Irene. Oh, one more. Click it. Click an arrow. Oh, no. You can text the word give to a specific number. That number is area code 831-246-9694. You just text the word give, and you will receive instructions on how you can enter your debit, credit, or bank number to donate a specific dollar amount. And you can also pay online or give online at montereycsl.org/donate. We appreciate your tithes, your gifts, your offerings, and we circulate that back into the community. So thank you, and so it is. Thank you, Brother Luchan, for today. I want to thank everybody who joined us. We know that the June theme is in living color. It's honoring our siblings with a different skin color, hair texture, gender expression, or sexual orientation. So join us next week. The talk title will be, "And We're Still Together," with guest speaker Amber Guzman. That's me. Thank you. And we are invited to celebrate both our unity and our diversity, recognizing that our divine connection often requires vulnerability and the courage to support one another as we share our truths. So thank you to our Facebook family and everybody who joined us wherever and whenever they see us online. I know that I'm going to share this talk today. I hope you guys too as well. And remember to like and comment a certain amount of words. We got to get that algorithming. And so we will see you next week. Thank you. God bless you. And our Facebook Live stream is now complete.